and then
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Or we could go backwards. Backwards might be fun.
You want to go backwards?
Yeah, let's go backwards. I like the idea of going back in time.
Okay,
Yeah.
2020 was a weird year, so we'll see how
Yeah,
it.
definitely. I
All
have
right,
got some good picks though for 2020.
nice.
Well, here comes. Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Oh,
great.
I thought you
We're
said
live.
you want to go backwards again because it's on the YouTube. Man, so many simulations going on at once. Let's see. What do I want to play? It's movie mood. No. It's movie mood. Oh. It's movie mood. Huh? You got it. Talking about movies all the time. It's movie mood. All right. Hello, everybody.
Hi, welcome to this episode of Movie Mood. That was Alex Van Horn on the guitar,
Yes.
and I am John Alberto. And what are we talking about today, Alex?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so we're talking about since our ABCs of the best movies of the ABCs was so well received, with many comments from many people saying, "Oh, that's the best. That's the best idea we've seen in years." We decided to do the best movies of the years we've been alive. So John and I are the same age, and we're both born in '92, and it's definitely been an interesting period of cinema that we've gone
For
through.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it was funny to go back and just think about, like, where we were at in certain stages, certainly in the 2010s, and then before that in high school, and even in elementary school, and what movies we were watching.
Right, right. So Alex, when you were thinking about this list, were you thinking like, let's use 95 as an example. Were you thinking about what movie did I really like when I was 3 years old in 95? Or are you thinking, hey, what is the best movie from the year 1995?
It depends, because I think the main thing I was looking at is I was looking at movies that were the great movies, but not necessarily the movies that I was watching when I was 5, but maybe years later I started watching again and again, and was just kind of obsessing over and loving. So a lot of movies from the '90s, I watched when I was a kid. I don't really necessarily watch them anymore. Like something like Remember the Titans. I can't really watch it, the same as I did when I was younger. But it certainly had an impact on me. So I guess I picked my list with, like, kind of thinking about, I wanted to talk about great movies from that year, but also movies that affected me, and also some movies that we haven't talked about yet, because obviously I could talk about the same old stuff over and over again, but I decided to change it up a little bit.
Right. I like it. So yeah, let's get into it. Do you want to go I guess we're going backwards in time, backwards from the present day, well,
Yes.
2020 at least to 1992. I don't know if I've seen a 21 new release yet.
Yeah. Have I? I don't know.
Have
I
we?
have to think about that. Probably on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or on streaming. Definitely not
right,
in a movie theater.
right, absolutely.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, let's start with 2020.
Okay, cool. And
What a funky year.
yeah, it was a weird year, and I was so I'm a weirdo, and I've been making an Excel spreadsheet of every movie I've seen
Nice.
from every year for years and years and years now. Uh,
Whoa.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
What, since when? Since what year?
probably like 2015, and then I worked back in time from there as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So 2020 was a weird year. I did not see many movies,
No.
but I think I only saw one movie in theaters. But my favorite movie was a Netflix movie from one of my favorite writers working, Mr. Aaron Sorkin, called The Trial of the Chicago Seven.
Nice.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed that movie a lot, and I really like Aaron Sorkin stuff. Not always. I can kind of see there's some things that kind of frustrate me in his work, but I do like his screenwriting in general. It's really
Yeah.
good.
He's very idealistic in his screenwriting,
For sure.
which I kind of dig. The softy in me kind of digs that, just, you know, seeing the best in people, you know. And
I know he's such like a transplant, you feel like, from the 90s.
right.
It's just that like, yeah, like Few Good Men and Paul 13 and just that like, yeah, very idealistic,
Mhm.
which is nice. Like I really enjoyed watching that movie for that reason, and it was very prescient to the time nowadays, and it had some great performances.
Yeah, it had some terrific performances. When you've got Sacha Baron Cohen and Eddie Redmayne playing off each other, you can't really go wrong there.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Frank Langella, or yeah, many different
Oh my
people.
goodness, he was ridiculous in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Worst judge.
Terrible
Hashtag
judge.
worst judge.
But
Cool.
yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. It's available on Netflix. What did you say, Alex?
So mine was between two different movies. Which one do I want to talk about? I guess I could talk about, well, I was between Bacurau and First Cow, which are awesome movies. First Cow was supposed to come out in theaters, didn't come out. I saw it on streaming. And Bacurau, I don't know if it was going to get a big like theater release. It's a Brazilian movie that's really fantastic. Um, yeah, I don't know. So I was between those two, but I really love those movies. I guess I
Okay.
could talk a little bit about both of them.
Yeah.
Bacurau is a sort of like a weird Western sci-fi genre blender movie. Yeah, that's really good. And it's got these evil Americans that come into this small town in Brazil. And there's a lot going on, but it definitely feels like a movie of 2020, of the year. You feel like, oh yeah, this makes total sense, even though it's a bonkers, genre blender. It's a very um yeah, very prescient movie. And First Cow is also kind of a Western. I kind of think of it as First Cow, like First Cowboy
Hmm.
a little bit, but I don't know. That might be kind of a stretch. But it's kind of like about the first cow that goes into this community, and I guess 19th, 18th century Oregon.
Okay.
And it's a slow burn of a movie, but it's very, very chill. I feel like it's a very chill, well-made movie.
Nice. And it was that was distributed by A24, correct?
Yes,
Which is
they're
a
amazing.
terrific studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they've done some really great stuff, from The Lighthouse to Lady Bird, Moonlight. Did they do Moonlight?
I think they did Moonlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
They're
sure they did.
probably one of the better studios right now.
Yeah.
The best. I would say the best. Yeah. So I would put my vote down for Bacurau. I really enjoyed it, and it kind of harkened back to that 70s cinema of like good movies with, strong themes and well made.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And what streaming service can we find that on if it's on streaming?
So it's on Criterion Channel, and I
Okay.
believe you can also watch it on Amazon, but you gotta put up
You got to rent it
put
on
up the
Amazon.
money. You gotta pay
Yep.
for it.
But,
Yeah.
yep.
But it's definitely watchable for sure.
Okay. Great.
Mm-hmm. And I would also like to say, as far as 2020 goes, I didn't watch as many movies either. I think a lot of us were, playing video games or reading books or something.
Yeah, I think I have like 7 on my list. I think I saw 7 movies this year.
Whoa.
Yeah,
So, I think I saw more
720,
than that.
2020 releases. Not very many.
Oh, okay. If 2020 releases.
Yeah, I watched a lot of movies this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2020 releases have been too many.
The only
I think a lot of movies are held back too. So
I think the only 2 movies I actually saw in theaters were were The Invisible Man and Tenet. And
That's right.
I think I liked The Invisible Man more actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Tenet was goofy,
it's a
but
good horror flick.
pretty good. Yeah, Invisible Man's fantastic. I
Yeah.
forget about that one. What about 2019?
Ooh, 2019 was a good year, man.
Such a good year,
Yeah.
man.
Um, I think I had to ultimately go with it was another Netflix release actually. Netflix doing good work. I think it was a Netflix release.
Yeah.
That was Marriage Story.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
With Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. I
Yeah.
I love the character study pieces. I think Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are two of the best actors working today, and they play off each other so well in a heartbreaking film about the collapse of a marriage, but maybe the start of a friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Marriage Story as well. A lot of that director's movies are about divorce, and I feel like that was kind of one of the only movies where it felt like there was a happy ending, and you felt like it was a yeah, they're in a good place at the end.
Hmm.
I would also say I really love the performances of Ray Liotta and Laura Dern
Oh, for sure.
specifically.
And I do
Yeah,
believe Laura Dern won an Academy Award for that performance.
yeah, she's amazing.
And
If
Alan Alda's in it too.
Yeah,
I always like Alan Alda.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the kid's performance in it too is really good. And I remember him reminding me of Danny from The Shining a
Right.
lot.
Yeah. There are very few kids performances in adult movies that I actively like, and this was one of them. The
True.
Shining is one of them, and then there's another one that I'll probably be discussing later on in this list that I think is pretty great.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good choice. I like that one as well. I was lucky enough to see it in theaters, and it was great. And there's funny moments, there's tragic moments. It's got the whole gamut in there of feelings. It's good.
Right.
So I chose and I just changed this at the last minute, The Lighthouse.
Ooh, great choice, Alex.
Yeah.
I have that high on my list. That's a movie that we both love.
Yes.
It is so unique.
Oh yeah.
What are your there's a lot to say good about The Lighthouse. What are some of the key takeaways for you?
Man, I just thought it was such a well-made movie, and the atmosphere of it and like the way they created that world, it was like historically accurate. It was like thematically really amazing. It felt like Shutter Island, but they went even further, and it was just a way stronger movie. And of course, there's been so many good horror directors, and I really, out of all the movies, Get Out, Midsummer, Lighthouse, I think I like watching The Lighthouse the most, just because of the black and white and the like almost silly performances like from Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, where they have moments where they're like terrifying. They have moments where it's hilarious. It just they kind of go through the motions of playing these different roles almost. Um, and yeah, that's just an awesome movie. I felt like that. And that year was awesome. You had Parasite and
Hmm.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was really fantastic. But I think The Lighthouse was my fave from 2019.
Yeah, that's a terrific choice and another A24 release actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are appreciative of terrific cinematography,
Oh yeah.
then The Lighthouse is certainly worth the watch just by itself. And then if you like Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe like we do, then you're gonna love this movie.
Yeah, I think they actually shot it on like silent film cameras, like actual film for like from the 30s or whatever, and it just really looks like it's transplanted from the past or something.
Nice.
Yeah, I enjoy that one. Speaking
Yeah.
of going back into the past, now we go back into 2018. Yeah.
All right. Where did you go with 2018? Another solid year.
Yeah. I couldn't think of anything other than I just really love Mandy. Um,
Right.
uh, to talk about. What did you pick?
I'm going back and forth between three, man, and I don't know if that's fair.
Okay,
Um,
let's hear them. I'd
all
love to
right.
discuss them.
So, A Star is Born, First Man, and Black Klansman.
Ooh,
Yeah. Three very different movies. Um, but
yeah.
but
I would probably say, yeah, Black Klansman is my favorite of those. That's a fantastic movie.
yeah,
Really one of Spike Lee's
it
best.
actually might be. And I've seen the majority of Spike Lee's filmography. I haven't seen all of it, but out of all of the Spike Lee movies I have seen, it is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the same themes that Spike comes back to, racism in America, um, African American experience, America in general. And but it's put into this really well constructed thriller at the same time
Right.
with Adam Driver and John David Washington and Alec Baldwin,
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace. Yeah, that's an underrated Topher Grace performance. I've always forget like that's him.
Yeah, he just shows up sometimes, and
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
a really really great movie. Yeah,
yeah, and I think uh, I want to talk about the other two as well,
sure, go for it.
because I didn't like First Man as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
I liked it for different reasons than I thought that it would. It
Hmm.
was that Then I thought that I would enjoy it. I'm a sucker for space movies.
Yeah.
You know, both realistic and fictional. So give me 2001, give me Star Wars, give me Apollo 13,
Yeah.
give me any of it. And First Man, while the space exploration aspect of it was gorgeous, it was
Mm.
just a really cerebral movie. It was,
Mm.
you just had Ryan Gosling, who was terrific as Neil Armstrong, just in his thoughts throughout that entire movie.
Yeah.
And I actually bought the biography that it was based on right after I read the book, and it's interesting how tragic of a life that he led during
Mm.
during that time, and kind of the sacrifices that he had to make and the other astronauts had to make, and then kind of paralleling that with 60s America. It was an interesting watch for that perspective.
Yeah, it's definitely got some great performances from Ryan Gosling and what's the wife's name?
She
I'm
is in The
blanking on
Queen, Claire Foy.
Claire Foy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a very realistic space movie. I guess I wasn't really wild about it just because I love The Right Stuff so much.
Oh, I
And
didn't even mention The Right Stuff. The Right Stuff
yeah,
is the best one.
yeah, The Right Stuff is like, and I realize it's like kind of a fantasy movie. Like it's a bit, like Top Gun I guess, except it's artsier, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I wasn't wild about First Man or A Star Is Born so
I
much.
know. Yeah, I know. And I, as I was thinking about that list, I was like, I know Alex isn't really huge on either of these movies.
Yeah, but you know what? Um, but I could appreciate like how they were made and the performances in them, like Bradley Cooper's performance and Lady Gaga's performance and Star Is Born, pretty fantastic. Even though I feel like, well, I just don't like the story of A Star Is Born. Like I've seen the older versions,
Mhm.
and there's just not. I don't feel like I'm particularly excited by them, but I thought that A Star Was Born was good. It was well made for what it was. And yeah, First Man. My dad watches First Man every day, So
Oh, is that still going on through
actually,
2021?
no, I think he's stopped. But I think there's like 2 or 3 years he was like, I'm gonna go watch First Man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, actually, I might
Um,
have no. I'm gonna save that for the year after.
no, it's one of the I think the thing that really makes A Star Is Born work for me is the chemistry between Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
it's got a really kicking soundtrack. Ask anyone. I do not like country rock that much, but
Yeah,
I
me neither.
I love the A Star Is Born soundtrack. And
More like a country rock. Well, I guess yeah, more like rock.
yeah, kind of get me. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Um, I kind of get like a Chris Stapleton vibe from Bradley Cooper's character in it.
I could see it, or like a young Neil Young sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the musical performance scenes are really good, are
Hmm.
really amazing. I thought that was the best part of it, is when he's actually performing and playing guitar and playing piano, and I was like, wow, he's good,
Hmm.
talented dude.
I think it's one of the best movies about addiction out there too,
Yeah,
which is a tough topic
true.
to address on film.
True. Yeah. I remember somebody saying like he thought it was odd that A Star Was Born was like the number one movie in America, and it's like a movie about suicide. Like, or ends so sadly, but it's a
Yeah,
tragic.
it's a tragic movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Definitely.
yeah, and you had Mandy at the top of your list.
I just
Um,
couldn't think of I didn't look at the year as thoroughly as I could, but I love Mandy. Mandy is so crazy.
was that your M movie from our alphabet list?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably. Or maybe it was McCabe and Miss Miller. Yeah.
You were choosing between the two. Yep.
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 Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm stoked to talk about 2017.
There was a lot in
I
2017. What was that?
know. So
There
I
was.
have two from
Tell,
2017. I
tell
love
me
it.
what two you have because I'm looking at my spreadsheet from 2017 and I'm looking at
Nice.
my top 10 right now and I'm like, holy smokes, there's a lot of good here.
I'm between Good Time and First Reformed.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some really wild ones from the
Mhm.
Trump era of the United States of America.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah.
We've
Good Time was the list I'm looking at. Good Time was third on it, but it may be
nice.
higher, maybe lower. So
Yeah.
um, yeah. So tell me, I know we've probably talked about Good Time in detail before. Tell me a little bit about First Reformed and why.
Yeah, that movie just blew me away because I feel like, Paul Schrader, I've seen some of his movies, he wrote a lot of the stuff for Martin Scorsese back in the day. Mishima, Life in Four Chapters is a good one. Before First Reform, that was kind of like his best directorial movie. And then First Reform came out and it was like, oh my gosh, this guy's like 75 and he just made his best movie. That's like, it's kind of unheard of and it's kind of like hopeful in a way, even though it's like such a bleak movie. You're like, whoa, like this guy's like telling some truth in a way. And it's about, I guess it's sort of like the taxi driver of like worrying about climate change or like, you know, um, this like despair in America or whatever. And I really just love also Ethan Hawke's performance. Like I never really was into Ethan Hawke until I saw that, and I was like, whoa, he's like, he's
Good
amazing.
actor.
Yeah, he's amazing in that movie and in a lot of movies. And I just thought it was a very well constructed, like similar to like something like First Cow, where it's like so little is happening, but like that's why you're focused on it. You're like, what is going on? Like trying to figure it out. And also like even though it's a super tragic and dark movie, I felt like there are kind of some funny parts about it, kind of in the way like sometimes parts of well, Taxi Driver's not funny, but but like just in the fact of how weird, this character is, and just the little idiosyncrasies in his life. There's like Cedric the Entertainer is in it, and he's great. And Amanda Seyfried also, who also has range, has really, really good range as an actor. And yeah, I've only seen it once, and I think I only really want to watch it once, but I just remember being blown away by the movie.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Ooh. Alex, I am looking at 2017, and I'm thinking this might have been the best year for movies
In the 2010s.
in the 2010s.
Was that?
All right, so
Yeah.
so let me read some of them that come to mind for me. You've got Get Out, you've got Baby Driver, you've got Good Time, you've got Lady
Yeah.
Bird, Dunkirk.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Dunkirk is a big one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. You've
Yeah,
got
it's
The
hard to
Post.
pin it down. It's just
Yeah,
some
there.
good flicks.
Yeah. I think my top two on my Excel spreadsheet were Get Out and Baby Driver, followed by
Oh
Good
yeah.
Time.
Oh, I totally forgot Get Out came out that year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Get Out is a big deal. That's one of the great ones for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the great horror films of the 21st century. A story about the American experience, if you will,
Yeah.
presented in a
Keep talking about it. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
really unique way, and yeah, it's terrific. I know most people have seen Get Out. I know most people have seen most of Jordan Peele's filmography, but it is certainly up there.
Sorry, man, I'm back.
It's okay. I ran out of things to talk about. There was a couple of minutes of silence there, but that's
Nice.
okay.
You guys had some meditation time.
Yeah,
I did meditation.
yeah.
Yeah, Get Out is incredible. I also probably one of the best screenplays ever written. Yeah,
Sure.
and it
Sure.
ends with a joke, which is just genius. Like it's just it's a well-made script.
Alex, what are your thoughts on I'm looking at 2017. What are your thoughts on Darren Aronofsky's Mother?
Mother, I thought it was good. I'm not always so crazy about Darren, but I liked Mother. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I remember like there was a lot of like critics that were mad about the ending because it was such like the twist was good, but it's kind of like an fu twist to the audience, I guess. I don't know. But I saw it once and I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think Dunkirk also would be another big choice for me. I think that's one of Nolan's best.
Yeah, Dunkirk is absolutely one of Nolan's best. And then my personal favorite Pixar movie, Coco, came out that year as well.
That's right.
Yeah. Which I never thought Toy Story could be surpassed by Pixar, but it's Coco for me.
Yeah, Coco's great.
Yeah.
And we didn't have time to talk about Good Time, but I think we have probably talked about Good Time before.
Yeah, Safdie brothers, a terrific Robert Pattinson performance. Yeah, and one of those movies that just keeps you going with the tension. What do you have to add to that?
Yeah, another just offbeat character, two characters that go into this get lost in this world of underworld New York. And yeah, that was the first real big Safdie brothers movie I got into. And it sort of harkens back to early Scorsese, but also some cool 80s ish cinematography and music.
Yeah,
And
yeah, for
I
sure.
love it.
Nice.
Yeah. Which brings us to 2016. Oh man, I had an odd choice.
And I had the choice that everybody would expect me to say, so I'll just say it, and
Go
then we'll
for it.
go to Manchester by the Sea. It's
Oh yeah.
100% Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Um,
That's your fave.
I love it.
Yeah.
So where did you go?
Me to Mandy, you to Manchester by the Sea.
Right.
I actually chose an odd one. I mean, if I was gonna go with actual great movies from that year, it would probably be Moonlight, to be honest.
Okay. Of
Moonlight was
course.
really, really fantastic. Um, yeah, great story, well made. Yeah, it's
I
just a great, great movie.
I think I might have a guess of what your other choice was.
My other choice, just talking about fun movie going experiences, was London Has Fallen.
I knew it. I knew it.
Because it's just such I could write like an essay about that movie. It felt like it was almost like it really is like a Trump era movie in a way. And like I don't know if that came out before Trump was
That
elected,
that would
but
have come out in that would have been the summer of 2016, so that would have been pre his election.
yeah, that was kind of like a predictor. But that movie is so absurd. It's just so like you're almost like, is this a comedy? Like it really is on that line of being just so ridiculous. But I think it knows that it's a comedy and almost goes into like a it would be interesting if they went fully into like a Doctor Strangelove area with it.
Right.
But I don't know if it really does that, but I talk about just a fun ridiculous movie going experience. Seeing that was pretty great.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now its sequel, Angel Has Fallen. Does that suffer from Aaron Eckhart's absence as President Asher?
I think so. Like Aaron Eckhart, I mean Morgan Freeman's great. And Nick Nolte is fine. But Aaron Eckhart, like he's really good at just being really manic. I feel like him and Olympus Has Fallen, and even in The Dark Knight, like he's really good, but he can go to that area where he's just like like just terrified and freaking out. And he's got some great moments, and London Has Fallen. And I mean that movie is entirely about like the chemistry between Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart, and that's like the heart of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And I think we can both say that the better film, the more meaningful film is probably Moonlight.
Yes.
But,
Moonlight is beautiful.
Moonlight's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's an incredible
the actual cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
London Has Fallen is fun.
yeah, sometimes you want to have fun at the movies, and London Has Fallen is a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Moonlight is a gem as well. You know, it's a really powerful just story about somebody growing up, and yeah, really beautiful cinematography, and very haunting, beautiful film.
Nice.
Yeah. What about 2015? Geez, the 2010s were like an insanely good time for movies. Like,
I know.
I forget that it was, but it was.
Yeah. So this is when I started working backwards on my list, so my list got shorter.
Man, I gotta make a list.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So at the top of my list is my favorite Adam McKay movie, The Big Short.
Yes.
Which I know I talked about in our A to Z list. So another movie that I really love from 2015 was a big budget reboot that that deserves all the love in the world, and that is Creed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great one.
hmm
Yeah.
Um, Michael B. Jordan's a terrific actor.
For sure.
He's he's incredible. His performance is nuanced. It's let's see, what else do I love about that movie? Philadelphia is probably my second
Mhm.
favorite city.
Yeah.
Um, I love the Rocky movies. It's in the spirit of Rocky movies, and it obviously has those kind of Rocky tropes, but it doesn't. It would be really easy for Creed to just feel like a ripoff, right? Or like
Yeah.
or just a cash grab.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that to me, and neither does Creed 2 for that matter.
Hmm.
Like they are both terrific standalones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Creed 2, but Creed 1 is super good. And you felt like it was a good standalone movie, like on its own, like not just as like a Rocky film. But it worked like as a Rocky film. Stallone was great in it.
Stallone was
Mike,
fantastic in it.
Michael B. Jordan is awesome, obviously. He's one of the best of his generation, I think, for sure. And yeah, it's a fantastic sports film.
hmm
Yeah. And yeah, I haven't seen Fruitvale Station yet, but that's supposed to be a big one.
Neither
Michael.
have I. And yeah, Michael B. Jordan always works very well with Ryan Coogler.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
so
Scorsese and De Niro.
yep, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
But
awesome.
I do need to see Fruitvale Station as well.
Yeah.
So where
Supposed to
did
be
you
the
go
first
with?
one.
Yeah.
I went with Mad Max.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. But I think I could have easily gone with The Big Short as well. Or The Witch, but I think Mad Max for me, that's just it's just a masterpiece all around.
See, I don't know what it was. Like, I remember I went to the movie, I liked it. It didn't speak to me that much.
Yeah.
I I appreciated the scope of it, if you will, but like
Yeah.
I didn't walk out of it, thinking that was the best action movie of the 21st century, which is what
Mm.
quite a few people think.
Yeah.
So what makes it stand out to you?
I think just I mean the scope of it is pretty incredible. The story, I mean Mad Max is almost like he's he seems like, kind of in the spirit of like Buster Keaton. He's not really like a big character so much as he's just like a model to be like put into these action scenes almost. Um, which is cool. I like that because we kind of like the audience kind of projects itself onto whatever's going on. But the movie is really about Charlize Theron's character. And I thought it was really powerful to see. Apparently, you have the War Boys or whatever. I'm blanking on what the bad guys are called, but you've got the War Boys, and I guess they were like trained by military people, and the women in the movie apparently like trained with like feminists. Um, and it just seems like a really powerful statement about like misogyny and feminism. But it's also like a really good, thrilling action film. Also,
Mm.
kind of a metaphor about climate change a little bit. But it just kind of blows your mind. Like they spent 25 years making that movie, like, or something like that. It was like 25 or 15. 25 might be a lot. I think it was 15. But I don't know. I just thought like it was cool. It's kind of like a silent film at the beginning because there's so little dialogue. It just felt like a roller coaster ride, but it didn't feel like it was detrimental to it being a movie, if that makes sense. Because
Okay.
like a lot of the superhero movies, like they're almost like video games, or like London Has Fallen is almost could be a video game, basically.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
It absolutely could
it's
be.
basically you're watching somebody play a violent video game,
Right.
um, alt-right video game, and but yeah, Mad Max. It didn't feel that way because all the action scenes were so well made, like actual, like you could feel the weight of the cars. There's so many good stunts. I don't know. I just really dug it. I think a lot of people liked it, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certainly a well-regarded film, and
Mhm.
I'll have to revisit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's one of my
It
favorites.
takes us into 2014.
Yeah. I had an interesting choice. I I'm really interested to talk about it, actually.
Was it as interesting as my choice?
I don't know. What's your choice?
Exodus: Gods and Kings.
That's amazing. That's a London Has Fallen choice for you.
I don't know if it's Exodus: Gods and Kings. That's a movie, man.
That is a movie. Wow, I forgot about that one. And I like the fact that in Exodus: Gods and Kings, Aaron is played by Aaron Paul.
Right, right.
Like, we need a good Aaron.
Clever casting.
Who could that be?
Um,
He
no,
knows what it's like to be Aaron.
oh my goodness. That movie was a very pretty mess.
Yeah.
No, I think my favorite of the year was Interstellar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is a gorgeous movie, and one of probably my second favorite Christopher Nolan movie. So
Nice.
it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there in my list of Christopher Nolan movies, and it's ridiculous and it's all over the place, but I think that's kind of why I love it. It's just off the wall, but it works. It works somehow. Yeah. My choice, I don't even know if it's my favorite movie, and I haven't really revisited it since 2014. But for some reason, I went to go see it like 4 times in theaters, which might mean I liked it, but I don't know if I like it. But I saw it like 4 times.
Oh
It's
man,
kind of like a mystery to me. But Birdman,
Birdman.
yeah, remember
You loved
Birdman?
Birdman. I remember that.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but I saw it like 4 times.
I mean, it won Best Picture. It
Yeah.
won Best Picture that year. It was kind of the restart, if you will, of Michael Keaton's career,
Yeah. Yeah, he
and
came back from the dead.
the start of a really good stretch for Alejandro G. Inarritu as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the Revenant. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good movie. I think I didn't love all of it, but I loved aspects of it, you know? Like I
Yeah.
loved Michael Keaton in it, and I loved certain performance in it, but I didn't really love Edward Norton.
Bummer.
But it was a good one. I enjoyed going to see it 4 times in the theaters.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some other good ones from that year. The Grand Budapest Hotel.
That's right. I saw that a lot as too. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
It might
But
be one of my favorite Wes Andersons, actually.
it's up there in Wes Anderson's filmography.
Mhm.
I have a spot in my heart for Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh yeah.
I like his animation style.
Me too.
Yeah.
What'd you do for 2013?
Let's see what I did. Wow, I did this a long time ago. I don't know if I agree with it still.
Yeah.
Um,
It's changed. People change.
yeah. When I made this, I said American Hustle was my favorite, but American Hustle is not my
Oh.
favorite.
No. Me neither.
I don't want to say The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street's great. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Rush, terrific Ron Howard racing
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I've only seen it in Spanish, but I should see it in English. I thought it looked really good. Looked like a really good Ron Howard movie. And when he, you know, bats well, he makes great movies,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. even his bad movies I like. I don't know what it is, but I have a spot in my heart for the Robert Langdon movies,
If I know.
the Tom Hanks, the Da Vinci Codes
Yeah.
and
Angels and
Angels and Demons of the world.
Demons. Yeah.
But yeah, Ron Howard when he's on top of his game, he's great, and even his not so great movies are still fun.
The Grinch.
I love The Grinch.
Amazing. Amazing.
I love The Grinch. Um, Solo, a Star Wars story, was fun.
Yeah.
I had no qualms with it. It was aight.
Have you seen Hillbilly Elegy?
Nope. I heard it was not great, but
my mom is from that town and she went to high school with what's her name? The mom who's in it. Bev.
Is it Amy Adams?
Amy Adams' character. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched it with my mom, and at the end she was like, "Oh, I know Bev." And it was funny because I guess they shot like in my mom's neighborhood when she grew up. And I mean, that area got like hit with Oxycontin and just a lot of drug abuse and lots of poverty. And I've been back there, and I keep up with my family who live there, and it's yeah, the movie is kind of condescending a little bit.
Is it
to poor people? Yeah, and to hillbillies. Leave us alone, man.
Can't appreciate that.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that it's definitely not as simple as the movie makes it out to be. Just kind of like, these people are simple, so they don't. Right. That's why they're poor.
I've heard the book is pretty revered, but I saw the trailers for the movie on Netflix, but I think it got a little bit of backlash, so I haven't gone around to seeing it yet.
Definitely, it's not worth it, but it was worth it for me
because you have ties.
Yes, exactly. Right. I have connections. Too.
Right.
Yeah. My favorite of 2013 was Inside Llewyn Davis.
Ooh, I love Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, man, that was like a Wolf of Wall Street is definitely up there. Like, that's such a good movie. It's like 3 hours of insane Scorsese just going.
And it's all fast paced. It's probably the fastest 3 hour movie I've watched.
Yeah, it's great. And all the scenes where you're just watching Leo yell, it's you can't. It's not boring. It's pretty great. But Inside Llewyn Davis, that was like, I feel like that was my year, like in 2013, just like down and out, hanging out with hipsters. And I think that was kind of when I started buying records also. And that was just an interesting movie for that time because like it was about the 60s and it was about like Bob Dylan coming around, but it was also kind of like about like being a musician is hard. And I think it's even harder now. I think the market is not as open to, I mean, then it wasn't open to folk music, but it became open to it later. But I think the market is even harder now for musicians.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you feel like you saw bits of what you were going through in Llewyn in that movie in 2015?
I mean, a little bit, yeah. But I mean, yes, I would say so. I could relate, but it's also like the same thing the Coen brothers do, where it's just like, people going through like the Big Lebowski or something, where people are just like, get out of here, like get out of my house.
Right.
They're just, scumbags that are having a hard time. Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite Coen brothers movie of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah. Mine too.
And it's got a fun cameo from Adam Driver in one of his earliest roles.
And Justin Timberlake.
Yep, Justin Timberlake shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a good cast in that. John Goodman comes back. He hasn't been in a lot of Coen Brothers movies in a while.
That's true. He was kind of a staple there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good one. What about 2012?
2012. Um,
That's crazy. I didn't know you made an Excel spreadsheet of all the movies. See,
yeah,
for that long, like usually I give up. Like I put down like how many books I read or how many which movies I watch. Uh,
right. But see, like,
I gotta do
I
that.
don't. My issue is I don't re-edit it. So, like, I saw
Uh,
the first time I saw, like Inside Llewyn Davis was probably in 2018, actually.
mm,
So I didn't go back to 2014
right.
to
Well,
put
that makes sense. I mean,
Inside
that
Llewyn
makes
Davis on.
sense. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
Replace
uh,
the movie.
let's see. Let's see what I got. Good year for action movies,
Oh
2012.
yeah.
But I will go with. I think I will go with Life of Pi.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's a great movie.
yeah. Um, really for its gorgeous cinematography.
Mm,
Um,
good
I
story.
Yeah, great story. Uh, it was a movie that it was the second movie Ang Lee made that he won Best Director for that did not win Best Picture that year.
Hmm.
Um, Prior to the first one being Brokeback Mountain, which is a
Right.
terrific movie as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think I saw it later. I didn't see it in 2012, but yeah, I really liked it. It was really well made and it kind of used all that new technology that came from Avatar to tell a really good metafictional story. And
yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
It's very
Where'd you
good.
go with?
I went with Django, Django
Oh,
Unchained.
nice. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that was a big movie that year.
I didn't like it as much back in 2012 when I first saw it.
Hmm.
But upon every rewatch, Django gets better and better for me.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. I mean, I don't think it's as thought out as Inglorious Bastards, but it has its moments, and I think it's certainly like the shootout scenes and the acting from Leo and Samuel L. Jackson and Jamie Foxx and Washington. What's her name? Um, yeah, from everybody, and
Yeah,
certainly Christoph Waltz. But that was a big movie for that I watched that year. I haven't really watched as
Terry
much.
Washington.
Kerry Washington, yes,
Yep.
yeah. I haven't watched it as much since then. Just because it's a rough. I mean, it's a rough movie to watch at certain parts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's heavy. It's violent. It's a fictionalized, very rough look at American history.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a tough watch, but it's got some of Quentin Tarantino's best. What blows my mind about it is that it won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, but Christoph Waltz won it, not Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think actually it should have gone to Samuel L. Jackson.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think he really had because Leo was really good. But I think Samuel L. Jackson had the stronger, like more um he had more going on with his character, I think,
hmm.
than Leo. Where Leo was, yeah, just a big old racist.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair observation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did it win best screenplay?
I think it won Best Screenplay.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was up for it for sure.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that was a big one in 2012. And then The Dark Knight Rises came out, and I hated that.
yeah. That movie sucked.
Yeah, I was like the only person in America that hated it.
I didn't like it. I tried to. Well, I like. I
I think
actively.
people wanted to like it.
I wanted to like it so bad. Like I walked out of the theater telling myself that was, just incredible, and I didn't get it yet. But
Yeah.
but
Well, I think the reason why I didn't like it was because I watched I went to a showing where they had Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then they played that for the first time. And I was just like, after seeing those first two movies and then seeing that, you're just like, something's something's off.
Something's a little off with this
A
one.
little off going on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was also a big movie experience. A bummer movie experience, but a big one of that year.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
Which
we're
brings us to
going back in time.
2011. I wonder if we have the same 2011 movie.
A decade ago. We might.
Yeah.
We might. Is it a Ryan Gosling movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drive.
It's Drive.
In.
It's amazing.
Drive. Amazing movie.
Movie's a decade old, man.
That's crazy. God, we're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drive was like a big one for 2011. Not only did I watch it, but I was listening to the soundtrack all the time, and
Terrific soundtrack.
yeah, like when I was driving, I was listening to the soundtrack. Good driving soundtrack. Yeah,
I have a
don't
poster
think I
I have a poster for Drive hanging in my house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was a great movie. I felt like it was like the Michael Mann movies that I really liked, but it was artsier and more like crazy. So the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know if how I feel about it. But then the second time I watched it, I was like, that's a great movie. So good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Nicholas Winding Refn. Yeah, he's a good one. He's definitely an artsy man. And yeah, he's made some other good ones as well. But Drive, I actually had a film studies class where we watched like almost every scene of that movie and like analyzed it and talked about movies that were influenced by it, and it was really fun.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's a heavy watch though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's violent.
Really the last half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably the same goes for Django as well. The last half is
right.
Hard to watch.
And it wasn't the movie that they marketed.
No.
It was a lot better than the movie that they marketed.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a lot of people thought, and probably why, it draws a lot of comparisons to Taxi Driver is because you think, Ryan Gosling is one guy in the first part of the movie, and then you're like, oh, like he's different. He's a little crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But great soundtrack, very cool looking. One of my faves from the 2010s.
Terrific. All right, and then how far do you want to go back today? Do you want to go back?
High school?
Do you want to go back to the middle of the 2000s, and then we'll save the rest for later? We'll save the 90s and early 2000s for later.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
go through 06. How does 06 sound?
Sure. That sounds good.
Great. So we're in 2010 now.
Back when we were in high school.
Yep, back when we were in high school. And I went with it. You could probably guess it, but I went with The Social Network.
Nice. Yeah. That was up there for me. That was definitely a big movie of that year. Yeah, The Social Network is fantastic.
Great Aaron Sorkin screenplay.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. It's interesting to like talk about that screenplay and talk about like what it probably actually was like. Like there was a Zadie Smith article where she talked about The Social Network, and she actually went to Harvard with Mark Zuckerberg. And she was like, basically the problem with it, and it's still a great movie. You could still just look at it for what it is, but I guess they said, oh, hey, kitty. Was that it was more of like a Roman tragedy sort of thing, where it should have been a Greek tragedy sort of thing. Like, because I guess Aaron Sorkin and all these guys were probably less emotional than the, Aaron Sorkin characters are made to be. But it still makes it for like a great movie,
So I think I might have a controversial stance on this movie, but I think the thing that makes this movie better is actually not David Fincher's direction, but Aaron Sorkin's writing.
Okay.
I think that I think I might like Aaron Sorkin better as a writer than I like David Fincher as a director.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
I can see that. I,
yeah.
I would probably say vice versa. I really like David Fincher, but I think that they work really well together
Mhm.
because um, Fincher works really well with like, these big uh epic movies with lots of fast dialogue, and Aaron Sorkin writes really fast, witty dialogue.
Right. And Aaron Sorkin has gotten into directing recently. He's made
Hmm.
two very good movies. He made Molly's Game and the Trial of the Chicago Seven, which I've already mentioned. He directed
Yeah.
both of those, and I think you can. I almost felt like I was kind of watching a David Fincher movie when I was watching Molly's Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet,
Oh,
but
it's worth the watch. It's
yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I like him as a writer a lot. He's very good. I
mhm,
like his dialogue. It's very has a good flow.
yeah.
And I also like the music of the Social Network. Also, is
Oh
dope.
yeah, yeah. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Nine
they
Inch Nails.
yep, Nine Inch Nails, and they are still making great music for movies.
Yep.
I think they just got nominated for a Golden Globe for their work on Soul this year. So
Oh, I didn't know they did Soul.
yeah, yeah. So
Huh.
they did the like soundtrack to the movie that wasn't jazz. Like
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Huh.
They did like the
And they also did
non-jazz part.
Mank.
They did Mank. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, they got really jazzy, I guess, this past year.
yeah.
'Cause they were also doing a lot of jazz stuff on Mank. Huh. Nice.
Yeah,
I chose for and Social Network also has Army Hammer.
sure does.
Ugh. What a
What a guy.
what a scumbag.
What a weird what an interesting. I've been
I don't know
watching.
anything about it. I haven't looked at anything other
So
than
okay,
yeah.
so shocker of all shockers, but back in 2010, I was like, this Army Hammer guy, yeah,
He's awesome.
he's cool. and,
Winklevoss twins.
and so Winklevoss twins, and then he made some other good stuff. He made Call Me by Your Name,
Yeah.
yeah, and so I always I
Sorry to
always used to
bother
like
you.
to watch Army Hammer interviews,
Yeah.
because he was personable and stuff. But now, like looking back and like watching Army Hammer interviews from
Yeah.
like the context of what we know now, you're like,
Uncomfortable.
this guy, yeah, very uncomfortable.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Look up some of those. Yeah, that's interesting. I chose for that year. I think it was that year, right? 2006,
2010.
2010. My bad. Oh, I chose The Ghost Rider.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good movie.
yeah. I like that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like the Ghost Rider kind of got overlooked among
definitely.
other releases that year, but it was a great Ewan McGregor performance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a great year for movies. Also, like you had the Shutter Island. I think also I really
Sure.
love Shutter Island.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Ghost Rider is it's a movie I go back to. Like it's just a very well constructed, suspenseful movie. It's a spooky flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary for sure.
Good to watch during a cold winter's day like this.
Yes. Great. And that takes us into '09. And I
Yeah.
think we might have the same one for '09. We might not.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Ooh, yeah. What's yours?
Inglorious Bastards.
Okay. I decided to be different and do Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, so we don't have the same one. And that's funny
Yeah.
because I probably like Fantastic Mr. Fox more and you probably like Inglorious Bastards more, but
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess we changed it up.
Yeah,
We both like the same movies. They're both
yeah.
good. Yeah. I don't know. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about Fantastic Mr. Fox first, since we already talked about Quentin Tarantino with Django, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, Fantastic Mr. Fox. So this
it's so
was
good.
yeah, this was Wes Anderson's first animated movie, and he's since made Isle of Dogs, which I wasn't as big on.
No, I'm not into Isle of Dogs either. Nah.
Yeah. Um, I think I saw it once and I was kind of like, oh, that was Isle of Dogs. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's got an all-star cast, first of all.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like George Clooney.
Yeah, it's got an amazing class. Meryl
Isn't
Streep.
Meryl Streep in it?
Yeah, Meryl Streep. Is she
Yeah.
in any other Wes Anderson movies? I don't think she is.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Bill Murray, of course. Yeah, it's got some great animation and just also like one of his funnier scripts. Yeah, super well made, great cast. Yeah, and somehow it's better than a good portion of his live action movies.
Yeah.
It's better than Life Aquatic and Moonrise Kingdom. Um
Oh, I do like Moonrise Kingdom. I think it's much better than the Darjeeling Limited.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. And since he's kind of like gone back to in his live action, like especially Grand Budapest Hotel, you feel like there are parts of it that are like stop motion animation. He
Right.
still kind of uses that to go into like his high concept special effects areas where where another director would be like, okay, we got to go get like a mountainside to blah blah. It seems like he just kind of makes stop motion animation stuff and but it still works for his aesthetic. It works really well.
It works very well for his aesthetic.
Yeah.
And now that I'm looking at my spreadsheet, Alex, I'm looking down my list, and I'm surprised that you didn't pick a movie that's a little bit down my list.
Which one?
Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
I know. Well, I don't know if I like it as much as I used to.
Okay.
I mean, I like Nicolas Cage a lot. I like Werner a lot. But I mean, it's not a great movie. It's a good movie and it's an interesting movie, but yeah, I feel like Ebert gave it 4 stars when it came out.
Mm.
I don't feel like it's that good, but I feel like it's very good. Yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't. I do like it, but it just hasn't held up for me. But it is off the wall. It is a wild movie.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, I'm looking at this list and I'm looking at the movies that came out that year, and I'm looking at some of the movies that feel so old and some of them that still feel like fairly recent. Like for some reason, Inglorious Bastards still feels kind of recent to me.
Yeah.
But The Hangover absolutely does not.
Oh my God.
Like it's weird to think that those two movies came out in the same year.
It is weird because Inglorious Bastards is so like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it just feels modern or something. And it just feels like it sticks out. It doesn't feel like of its time, really.
Right.
But it feels like it could be made today and it would be fine. But yeah, The Hangover. Yeah. Yeah. I was actually never a huge fan of The Hangover.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
I think it introduced most people to Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, and Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, they're super good. Yeah. And talented people. I remember just like in high school, I did this thing. There's this this one kid in our chorus class who every time he used to like play the piano and play the Tiger song,
Yep, I know the Tiger
song.
A
big thing. And I would always ask him, I'd be like, what movie is that from? He'd be like, what? He'd, like have an aneurysm. He'd be like, you haven't seen The Hangover? What? I was like, what movie is that? I've never heard of that. Huh. Just fun trolling people.
Yeah, but you I said Inglorious Bastards for my favorite movie of 2009, actually.
Oh my gosh, actually. Yeah.
But
Inglorious Bastards is also a big deal for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Came out on my birthday.
It did, yeah.
I
Yep.
think we all went to go see it. All the
Uh-huh.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's probably mine too. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
It feels like
I
it's his most like a and a lot of his movies kind of have this aspect where they're like almost essays about film or film culture, which kind of works sometimes and kind of seems a little bit like too meta when you're watching it, but that one really works. I feel like
yeah,
because it's very like not structured like any other movie. Like it has these long scenes there that of dialogue between people. They're almost like little moments, little vignettes, I guess. Um, and yeah, it's still a movie that like you think about the bastards and yeah, there's a lot to unpack, I think, and the ideas. I think it is like has the best performance from Christoph Waltz for sure.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hands down. I think Inglorious Bastards might have been the movie that made me actively think to myself about the importance of a really good screenplay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
it's definitely script heavy for
yeah,
sure. There's a lot going on. Like if you look like if you read about like film history during that time or about World War II history, which certainly has been had a big impact on my life. It's interesting, there's a lot of like these little nods to certain things, like Aldo Rain, I guess, is like a reference to an actor, or Dreyfus, the Lady Dreyfus is like the Dreyfus Affair a little bit. So there's a lot going on, and they kill Hitler. So
right. Yep, they do that.
in deeply cold blood.
Yes.
Uh, but it's a bold movie. I think that people are still, I think, are going to be unpacking it and talking about it for a while. Certainly one of my film professors, he put out like a book about it actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just all about the meta fictional aspects of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back one more year to '08.
Okay, let's
And
do it. 08 was a cool year.
I had a really basic choice, man.
You did? What was your basic choice? Was it
Ooh,
Slumdog Millionaire?
it was not Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire was up there though.
Yeah, Slumdog is great.
I quite like Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but
No, it was The Dark Knight.
yeah, I avoided that because that is a great movie. Like undoubtedly, it's a great movie. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna avoid.
Do something different.
We can talk about it though.
No, let's not talk about it. We talked about The Dark Knight enough.
I chose In Bruges.
Oh, I love In Bruges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, In Bruges is great.
Yeah, that's I feel like In Bruges was kind of a turning point in Colin Farrell's career.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Where he got kind of like bigger, better roles in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, who directed In Bruges?
Martin McDonagh.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great flick. That's another really great screenplay. And that's another movie that it was sort of advertised, kind of like Drive. You're like, oh, this is going to be like a fun action movie. And then nope.
Yeah,
Something completely different.
I remember I didn't see the movie until many years later, but I saw the trailer for it when I went to see a pretty good movie called Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street by Tim Burton.
Good
And
Tim
I was
Burton
like,
film.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that looks like a fun comedy that I'd like to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
Nope.
It's got some funny moments.
It does have funny moments. Yeah, but it's got the terrific Ray Fiennes performance.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's one of Ray Fiennes' funniest performances.
Definitely.
Funnest performances. So.
Yeah. And from Brendan Gleeson and everybody is in that. Like it's just a great There's no bad performance,
Right.
buddy. And yeah, you kind of think it's going to be this one action movie, and it's really like a tragedy with funny parts in it, which
Right.
is a lot of Martin McDonagh's stuff. And his plays are amazing. If you haven't read them or seen it, The Pillow Man is super good. And Seven Billboards, I had mixed feelings about, but I think a lot of people had mixed feelings about it. Three Billboards. Okay. Seven Billboards.
Outside. That's a lot of billboards, man.
Are you sure they didn't change the title?
I don't know.
I would watch out for them.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty good memory.
That was yeah, Three Billboards was a good movie.
Yeah,
Great Sam Rockwell and Frances McDormand performances.
definitely. Yeah. But I feel like In Bruges is a stronger film than Three Billboards. At least I think so. And because it's I guess Martin McDonagh, he writes really well from like Irish dialect, and a lot of his plays kind of take place in Ireland and about that, and a lot of the dialogue is just so good in Bruges. And Three Billboards, like there are parts of it where it almost seems like, I don't know, it didn't feel realistic,
Right.
in a way.
Right.
Just parts of it I was just kind of like, like I don't know if this is right, but it was good. It was a very good movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, should we keep going to 2007? It's hard.
Let's wrap up with 2007.
Yeah. Let's stop at 2007. We'll come back.
Yeah, 2007 was a really great year for movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insanely good.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, that wraps up part 1 of the movies in our life. What about the movies in your life? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll be back to you next weekend.
All right. Enjoy, everybody. Be well.